Welcome in, beautiful beings, to another episode of the Sovereign Souls podcast. And if you are watching the episode, then you can already see it because today I have such a special gift for you. I have a special guest, Nikki, in the house. You might know Nikki from Out of Our Minds podcast. And I've had the gift of being able to work with Nikki for the past 5 or 6 years now. Oh my goodness.
We can say 6 now.
We can say 6 now? Okay, 2026, we can say 6 years. Okay. And oh my goodness, like the inspiration you were from day one and like thinking about who you be in the world now, the woman you are, the leader you are now, and then is just an inspiration throughout. I'm so happy you're here. What I want to do is let everyone know here what you can expect to enjoy from this episode today. Nikki is such a powerful master at being able to take messages and share them with the world through her own creative genius, through her own creative gifts in a way that you will feel. You're going to be able to feel it when she speaks today. Any of you who are wanting to tap into that creative essence, any of you who are wanting to share your gifts with the world, you are going to feel something activate in you when she shares, when she speaks. You're going to be able to feel it. It's going to be so beautiful. And yesterday, before this episode, she sent over a video that she created. And I've got to share this with everyone. I've got to share this before we even
It will be
welcome you in.
live by the time this comes out.
Oh my gosh, you guys are going to be able to watch it. She sent me this video and I'm sitting there watching it. And you know when you get spirit bumps, like chills, that they happen for like a moment and then they go away? That did not happen with this. Like I had the chills the entire video. I'm like, oh, this woman is magic. This is what I mean through her spoken words and through the way she's able to channel messages, through the way she's able to create videos. You will feel the energy of it. It's like my soul sings when you create something and I'm able to receive it. It's so beautiful. I'm excited for you guys to be able to dive into the world of Nikki. Again, she's from Out of Our Minds podcast. You guys have already maybe heard the episode with Bella. That's her business partner. So this dynamic duo is just pure magic. I'm so excited to dive into today's episode. Nikki, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to have you. It's such an honor, truly.
Yeah, it's such an honor to be here. I think I said this on the Becoming Her session, but it's such a full circle moment to be doing this work with you in this way. Like we always knew, right? Like when we first started working together, we're like, we're going to be on a stage together one day. Our work is going to converge in a way that we can't quite see it yet, but we know it's there.
Yes.
And I remember I went and I saw you at Conscious Life Expo. Is that what it's called? In LA. And I remember I was seeing you on the stage and I had another like visceral bodily experience of like feeling this knowing that we were going to work together in some way where we would both be up on that stage together. And just with everything that's happening inside the portal, the work that we're all doing together, you, Bella, and I'm so excited. Like it just feels like our souls are meant to be on this path together, teaching what it is that we teach, sharing our gifts with the world. And it's just such an honor. It's truly such an honor.
So special. I have such a visceral memory of that moment too. Like when I came to give you a hug, I was so excited to see you. Like I have a visceral memory of that moment too, which is just so special. It's so special.
I was like, oh, she's a lot shorter than I thought she would be.
I felt so happy to meet you and see you and like, be with you after working with you for quite some time. And the first thing I said is, wow, you're really tall. What kind of hello is that for someone who can't wait to be? Like, what is
Bella and I together? She's taller than me. You know, Bella's taller than me.
Oh my gosh. I was going to message you guys the other day and say this because it's going to be so adorable the first time that we're together because both of you are so tall and I'm so tiny. It's going to be so freaking adorable the first time we're together.
That's how I feel when I see pictures of you and Tim. I'm like, you're literally up to like his belly button.
I know. When we went to Japan together and he was doing his event in Japan, the beautiful, who I love, these beautiful Japanese women who we could say are like the adorable tiny women, they were calling me kawaii. They're like, oh, she's so kawaii. I'm like, what?
Does that mean cute?
How is that happening? What?
What does that mean?
Oh, cute. It means so cute. Like cute. And then like little and cute. Like kawaii. And then like they're calling me kawaii. Like how is this happening? So adorable. So funny.
I love that.
Amazing. This is so much fun. And this is just such a testament to the energy today too, because it's so special. And I remember a moment when we were on sessions together and it's very rare to have this being in a mentor's role, but I had a visceral experience of being like, well, we're going to be on stages one day together. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to be sharing our work one day together. And in becoming her, to be able to invite you guys in to do the activation, which was so powerful. I'm going to go back and watch that like anytime I want that feeling of like bringing my
Yeah.
spirit alive and in alignment with my service. You guys did a phenomenal job when you came into becoming her, and now we're doing the portal together, which is so epic. And I really want people to be able to experience your world in terms of your one, I didn't share this before, but just pure mastery of emotional alchemy as well. And this is what I perceive, and I'm very curious what you think, but this is what I perceive is so palpable about the work you create because it's so mastered within you, and you're truly being able to tune into the subtle energies in such a masterful way that now you have this ability to be able to take those energies and transmit them into your work in a way that is so felt. Like when you create an 8-minute video on YouTube or a 2-minute video on Instagram or TikTok, or you create something like a trailer for something like you've sent me yesterday, it is so felt. So I'd love
Mm.
for you to riff on that because I know that recently you've activated, even this past year, you activated a new level of your creative genius. So I'd love for you to be able to start introducing us into your world and for you to take us on a journey, even from that introduction right here.
Yeah, I mean, I was first tapping into my gifts. I mean, I'm not gonna go so far back, but I do wanna share that I was working as a subconscious healer for 3 years using your modalities, and it was so life-giving to be on that path and to activate my spiritual gifts. I feel like that was the path that really activated my intuition. I started learning how to trust my own inner voice and my own inner knowings. And I also started to understand this process of emotional alchemy and really starting to elevate my consciousness where I am the one. I always see myself as this like loving container that is holding all of these beautiful energies. And I just have so much gratitude for the work that you're doing because I truly feel like doing the subconscious work and being a subconscious healer for those years and leaning into your modalities specifically, it just taught me so much about my own inner world. And it taught me so much about what I know to be true and trusting what I know to be true. So I was
Mm,
on this beautiful journey of having one-on-one clients and creating content on TikTok. And I started to see that I had this gift of being able to be with my emotional experience, which growing up and not really learning how to regulate my emotions and having a bit of a dysregulated nervous system that for a lot of my young adulthood, I was dealing with anxiety and fear of doing anything that I truly wanted to do. I would feel those energies so viscerally. And I consider myself a very sensitive person. I have a lot of water in my astrology chart. And I started to learn how to feel those energies in a way where I wasn't being pulled into lower timelines and doing things that weren't actually aligned with my soul. And as I started to get this like super intimate relationship with my emotions, combined with this higher awareness, combined with the spiritual work that I was doing, combined with learning about the subconscious, meditating, all of these beautiful things on my journey, I started to see that me feeling so deeply and being able to describe that visceral energetic experience in the body when you're feeling anxiety, when you're feeling emotions, that was actually a superpower. And I know a lot of sensitive beings can relate to this. It's like the superpower of being able to feel an emotion before most people would even recognize it in their own body. You know, it's like that ability to know when something's just a little bit off, when you can just feel the frequency that's connecting with your heart or a little bit in your stomach. Like you can, it's a radar that's going off immediately. And this used to be something that I considered a fault. And then as I started to evolve spiritually and lean into the work of subconscious healing combined with actually learning the modalities, I started to see how this was a superpower. It was a gift. It was something that I would cherish for the rest of my life because it gave me the ability to experience reality at a level that I don't want to claim this, but most people aren't, right? Like we
Mhm.
live in a world that so many people are numbing and distracting and they're feeling that discomfort. So they're trying to chase the next dopamine hit. I have such a reverence for being able to feel so deeply now. And there are some days where I'm still waking up and I can feel a little bit of that energy, but holy crap, has my relationship to those frequencies and those emotions completely evolved. So over the past few years, I started to really create this intimate, deep relationship with not only the emotions, but how we can be with them to transform them into power, into remembering, into a deeper activation of your soul. And what I started to do was create these videos on TikTok. I started creating videos on YouTube describing the very intimate, energetic process of utilizing higher consciousness to be with that discomfort, to be with that density, those emotions, and to use the light of your awareness to drop even deeper into the present moment, to drop even deeper into your soul, and to use those moments that one person could see as, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way. This is something I need to fix, into something that actually activates a soul awakening. It activates your creative genius, it puts you into flow, whether you're in the middle of a creative process and you're feeling discomfort, you're feeling resistance. That is actually a portal to drop even deeper, even deeper into your soul, even deeper into flow state with your creativity. And
Mhm.
then in terms of living and feeling anxiety and energies that are arising as you're just doing your normal day to day, or maybe you're taking an action on your business that feels big and bold, those moments too are such potent opportunities to meet even more of your soul essence, to meet even more of just the truth of who you are.
Mhm.
And I can even see in the work that I'm doing now, I mean, you and I both know this path, we're ever expanding, we're ever evolving, we're forever coming up against these moments that invite us to grow, to evolve, to remember even more. The limitations like are always going to we're always going to get the opportunity to reveal more limitations. So there's never going to be a moment where we're just like, unless we leave this realm, like we're going to always be bumping up against those edges and expanding. So I've found a way to just create this bond with these energies where these moments become the greatest opportunities. And then in terms of what you were saying with my creative outlet, I feel like people will appreciate hearing this. I personally, we've been talking so much about following the spark and really igniting our own genius. I feel like I've been following this in the footsteps of a lot of guides and teachers, including you, right? Like learning your modalities, using them within my own containers.
Mhm.
Up until this year, I was doing that. And starting this year, I actually decided to close out my one on one containers and follow a spark within that has been slowly guiding me. And now it's like the divine time for me to really lean into it. And what I'm feeling called to continuously lean into is have all of this awareness and this intimate relationship with emotions and transforming them and activating remembering. I'm feeling the call to now go down this creative path where I'm really curating either creations, like videos or experiences where I know and can feel the frequency that I want people to experience in that moment. And I swear it's like so wild how this happens. Before creating that experience, making the video, I can feel the frequency in my body. I can feel the energy of what it is that I'm about to create. Usually I'll start with picking a song that really helps me tune into that. And there are times I'm like making something and I want the energy to be a little bit more of like a release and allowing people to feel grief or whatever it is. And I'm making the thing hysterically crying, like as I'm making it, because I'm literally
Yeah.
feeling the frequency of it. But the spark that I've been tending to, especially as we start the portal, I'm going to be activating this way more inside of the space, is just now taking all this beautiful awareness and pouring it into creations where people can experience these shifts in awareness and also these deeper rememberings and also these releases of density and emotion just by witnessing the thing that I'm creating, whether it's a video, a photo, a piece of writing. There's a potency to what I'm making now that I am so confident in, and I can't wait to just make more of whatever it is I'm gonna make and share more with the world and invite awakening in.
Yeah, it's so felt and palpable. Like, it's so felt that that is what you're doing, because when I'm watching a video, whenever you're sharing something and I'm there watching it, I can feel in every cell of my body the energy that is being
Yeah,
transmitted through it, and it's working so well. And it's like, how could we describe that? Like, people study this for years and years. They study to become masters to transmit emotion through art. And it's like I'm thinking of some of the people I've watched. Like, there's this one creator. He's an artist or an illustrator. I don't know the right word for it, but he created a lot for Disney. So he created Lion King and the bear in that the movie with the bear. I don't remember what it's called, but he
oh, like the
created a
Jungle movie?
Yes, yes. So he created a
Yeah.
lot of, Disney animations that people know so deeply in their hearts and can just
Mm.
feel something from watching, and I watched a little 5-minute video that he made about a polar bear, and I was in tears. There wasn't one word, and I was crying hysterically at the transmission that happened through his art. And it's like that man studied, and I have so much respect for him, and I'm not downplaying the fact that people are masters and study many years to do this, but I wanna make an important point here, because that man took his life to be able to get to that point where that 5-minute
Mm.
video transmitted something. And you have quantum leaped through time, because what I
Oh,
felt in
thank
that
you.
video, you've literally quantum leaped through time, because the only thing I can compare to what I feel when you make videos like this is that. And this man has
Mhm.
been doing this, what, for 5 decades? You have quantum leaped through time. You've aligned with something that is such your essence, and you have done such a masterful job at trusting that energy and tuning into that energy, that that's the only reference point I have to compare to what I feel when I watch your videos. That's
Thank you. Thank you.
amazing. That's like,
Mm.
what? That is amazing. You've tapped in to something that is so your essence. So I'm so excited for people to be listening to this and to go search the videos that you have and to be able to feel it. And the people joining the spark are gonna, even in the first few minutes, gonna be able to feel what I'm talking about. But I'd love for you to continue riffing on this, because as you were talking, it so felt how you're like tuning into the energy, tuning in to the specific frequency and becoming that frequency, it sounds like, as you're sharing it, which
Yeah,
is so beautiful. So I'd love for you to share too, like a bit more about this process of the emotional alchemy side of things and what allowed you to get to that space where you felt so free to be able to tune into your creative genius, because I think this is a part of the awakening that's happening on the planet. So many people are awakening to their soul missions. They're
yeah,
wanting to do it in a way that is in alignment with their soul, their spirit. They're wanting to access that flow state and be able to share to a degree that, someone maybe reflects to them in a moment that they're like, "You've quantum leaped through time. I'm comparing you to a
yeah.
master who's been doing this for decades." We all have that creative genius in us. So I'd love for you to talk a bit more about your journey of being able to tap into that, to that muse, to that creative spirit alive. I would love for you to share a little bit more of your journey of tapping into that.
I personally feel like I've been through such deep healing, whether it was within your containers or just in my own awareness in moments of like immediate healing or progressional healing in my own journey, where I was starting to see beyond this identity that I don't matter and I'm not capable. And I personally feel like if you are believing that you're someone who isn't capable of something, there is a moment in the creative process where you can very easily sink into that identity and collapse time in that type of that way of being, like that identity of self, because there's something so special about this journey of activating your creative genius that actually requires a higher state of consciousness and a higher form of relation to discomfort, procrastination, um, fear of like not getting it right, all of these things that can very easily arise within the creative process. And for me personally, I would have these moments of sitting down to make something, or I would have an idea to do something, but I never actually followed through with it because I would sit down and I would feel that discomfort arise, that energy arise, that frequency that is so natural to feel. And those stories would be triggered. And I honestly would love for you to talk a little bit more about the subconscious aspect of this because I feel like you can really riff on this as well. But I would have these stories arise of like, you're not capable. See, you're feeling this energy right now. Just stop. Like, no one's going to watch this. No one's going to listen to this. It's pointless. And healing that story, healing that identity at like the root level. And also having Bella come into my life where she just activated this like complete remembering of how divine and unique we all are. I started to remember how special I am as a conduit, as a channel. And I decided that I was no longer going to live in the identity of someone who isn't capable because I fully am capable. I know way too much about this reality field and who we are as souls to continue to allow my mind to draw me into a story of not being capable. That is
Mhm.
just not in the cards for this lifetime anymore. And really going in and dissolving this at the root with your help, with going in with such patience and compassion and really allowing myself to feel the depth of who I am as a soul. I remembered how freaking limitless I am, how powerful I am. And what happened from here is that all of those moments in life where you have the discomfort arise, where you have the choice point to go in the ego direction or the soul direction, I started to open up new pathways of possibility. I started to see how I no longer needed to sink down into the density. So actually this year I decided that I was going to play this like really fun expansive game with myself of going all the way to the other end of the spectrum of knowing how capable I am. And I decided to commit to posting a video a day on YouTube for 30 days, which is batshit crazy. Like, I've
Yeah.
never heard of anyone doing this. I remember before I did it, I was watching this girl talk about a challenge where she was like, I'm posting 2 videos a week. Like, I don't advise you do this. It's a lot. I'm like, bitch, I'm doing one every single day. Whatever, a little bit of ego here, but just let it be. So I committed to that, and every single day for 30 days, I would sit down on this green couch in my office, and I would feel every single story and energy of "you're not capable, you can't do this" rise up from within my body. And I started to be with this in a way where I was actually transforming this energy, like how I was saying before, into something that's an opportunity. It's actually like I started to see how this is just energy. Like, it's not anything, it's just energy. It was the stories and the identities that was making me think that this energy was associated with all those limitations and way of being when it wasn't. And I was above it. I was free from that. So it no longer needed to mean that. So I would be with this energy and I would allow the light of my awareness to just shine into every cell of my body as I was holding my microphone and I pressed record on the camera, and I would breathe and I would have these moments of shifting, of dropping deeper. And I started to open up my channel in ways that I was like shocking myself. I'm like, what is coming through right now? This is wild. And 30 days passed, and video after video after video, I started to unleash my creative essence in a way that I didn't even know I was freaking capable of because I believed I wasn't. But now in this reality field where I was free of that, I was starting to remember my genius. I was starting to remember that I am connected to these higher realms, that I have messages that I'm going to share. There were times that I would hit record on the camera and I would have no freaking clue what I was about to say. And then I post the video and thousands of people are like, this is literally exactly what I'm going through right now. Thank you so much for putting words to something that I couldn't even formulate words with. And I just started to realize, wow, I actually don't have to figure anything out. And I can
Mhm.
just expand into this discomfort, open myself up as a channel, and there's pure genius that comes through where that requires no thinking. I'm like, this is wild. So not only did I dissolve the story and identity of not being capable, I unleashed this reality field where being capable isn't even like, I'm like, what does that even mean? We're all just channels for the divine. And if we can be with that energy and open up and alchemize that discomfort into pure power and presence, you just get to channel all that you wish to channel through you as the conduit. So
Mhm.
I'm condensing a lot of years into 10-minute story. So hopefully it's connecting and making sense. But it's been quite an awakening journey I've been going
It's so powerful,
through.
and I remember that moment, you know, because we were in a one-on-one container, or well, 2 with 1. We were with you and Bella and I
Yeah.
in a container, which was so beautiful. I wish one day we're gonna have, like, a series where people can watch these, because that was probably one of the most
Our
beautiful
sessions.
experiences. Yes, to be with
Yeah.
you, Bella, myself, to be, like, going behind the scenes on, like, business partnership and friendship and all of it in one space, and growing business and spiritual evolution and personal healing. Like, it was so rich. It was so beautiful to get
Yeah.
to do with both of you. But like, I remember when you declared that 30-day challenge, and like, I'm so happy you were bold and like quirky, and you know, like with that moment of like, bitch, I'm doing it, because it deserves it. Like it deserves isn't the best word, but it needs that edge, because it was a bold move. You know, it was a bold move to be so proud of and honor so much. And I remember when you made that declaration and had that lock-in moment, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I feel it." Like, I
Yeah.
feel something so remarkable and beautiful coming. And the thing is, it was like that was a culmination that happened after months of you doing exactly what you described. You know,
Mm.
months of you going deep within and clearing any of the energy that was getting in the way of just tuning in to that effortless flow of creative genius. Because
Yeah.
what you described here is something so beautiful, something I felt many times, and something I see with many of the clients I work with as well. It's this moment where we realize, wait a minute, the human self, the ego self, the human self, when we try to figure it out, when we try to do, when we try to think it's on us to create an idea, or it's on us to create the strategy or the way to do something, that's where we start using life force energy. We start using this human self, which I have so much respect for, but we take all of that energy and we overexert that energy to
Mhm.
try to replicate something that already exists, which is the creative force of this universe, the divine force of creative energy. It's like we actually don't need to do all that stuff. What we get to do is be responsible. You know, our ability to respond is what I mean by responsible. Be responsible to our own energies, get the human ego self out of the way, and just tune in to that natural creative force, the divine energy that already exists. And then it comes out in this way that you were describing that was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't actually have to think about what I'm gonna say." It's, like, so funny to put those words to it, because it's so like, if we haven't felt it, it can feel like, "What does that mean?" Like, "What do you mean you're not thinking about what you're gonna say?" But we all feel it. We've all felt it in little moments, even in moments where we're talking to a friend and we're finally not thinking about what we're gonna say, and we just share
Mm.
something back, and then they're like, "Oh, that's exactly what I needed to hear." And then we're like, "I don't even know what I said, but I don't know, maybe I should take my advice." Or people say like, "I should take my own advice," because 'cause they're like, "Where did that come from?" You know what I mean? Because there's this divine energy that we are so held in, and that there's this divine energy that is the truth of our being. And
Mm.
that's what I love about what you were describing about the subconscious healing work. Like, this is it's so inspirational for me to hear it on my end. It's such a gift for me to hear the way you talked about it too, because this is what I prayed for, that this work can be that for people. That because
Mm.
once we dissolve away the subconscious identities, the limitations, the illusions that come with the way our society is set up, that we pick up on, like caring about how we look, thinking we're not capable, thinking we're not worthy. Like, when we dissolve those away, something amazing happens, because we tune into the divine self within, the version of us already free of it, the version of us already healed, which already exists within us, and we awaken to that. And then that leads. And then we're saying things like you said, "I don't even have to think about it. I could just press play and go. Like, this is so easy. This is so great." And it's like, but it takes that work in the beginning to be able to, really master ourselves, to be able to, and which is an ongoing journey, but to be able to master ourselves, to be able to know ourselves, know how to work with emotions, know how to work with the subconscious, so we can get the noise of the ego self aside, the small self aside, and tune into that pure channel. And that's what you did for those months before to lean up to that time. And it was remarkable to witness.
Yeah, it was liberating, and I'm having some stuff come through as you're talking. I had a conversation with a friend who's starting his own business, and he was wanting to make, like, talking head videos for Instagram, and he was reading off of a script, and I was explaining to him, I'm like, "Just tell your story. Like, you don't have to read your story off of a script." And I can totally understand. It's like people wanna get comfortable in front of the camera. If you haven't spoken on a microphone, just, like, freeballing it before, I could totally understand how that's, like, a little bit unsettling.
Yeah.
But there's something really magical that happens when you allow your unique essence to come through. The attraction that happens, the people that resonate with it, the way your work impacts people, not because you read it perfectly with all the perfect sentences and had all the perfect parts, but just because you let yourself shine through. Like, you let yourself just be you. And I feel like this is what we are so, it's just like such a natural part of the spiritual journey, because you learn how to really separate yourself from the ego and to allow your essence to come through. But I just wish more people understood the way it gets to be so easy.
Yeah.
This is like what I was laughing at before when you and I were talking, and it's like, how do people raw dog the entrepreneurship journey without having like spiritual awareness? I'm like, wow, bless you. How the heck are you doing that? That's like one of the areas I see as such a gift to have this higher awareness in, is you understand the subtle energetics of how you can actually impact people with your work. And it's just through your essence, it's through who you be in the world, and just like the frequency that is a match to your soul. And the way that we unleash that is by having this relationship with the ego, where you just let that be, you let it have a place in the corner, you give it love, you tend to it when you need to. But through the spaciousness, that's when your frequency starts to come to life. And yeah, I saw a reel the other day of this girl comparing two videos that she posted, and she was like, not that it's about the metrics, but she was sharing how her doing an unscripted video, sharing her story, got a lot of engagement and people were very connected to it. And then the other one with her reading off a script, like, didn't really go that far. And I sent it to my friend. I was like, see, just freaking let it rip. Like, we just want to hear your story. We just want to hear you. So I share all of this because anyone who's listening to this podcast and that has any sort of like creative venture or endeavor, or like an artistic interest that's kind of like peaking in their life right now, the more you can make it, the better it's going to feel for you, and the more it's going to be received and like felt by the soul of those that are witnessing and absorbing it. And it's less about like the perfection of it and trying to figure it out. Like, there are times where I post pictures on Instagram and it's like it has all these spelling errors in it. I'm like, I don't give a shit, whatever the message is spelled. But I'm just really learning how to get away from that perfectionist mindset, because it
Yeah.
really is through the allowance of the essence that we connect with people, right? Like, people just want to connect with other souls that can know them on a soul level. And it's just so special to enter a paradigm where there's actually less figuring it out. You were speaking to this on the Spark podcast episode too, about the trust, and you literally don't need to figure anything out. It's just, it's wild to live in that
So much energy gets freed up. So much
Yeah.
energy. And what's so inspiring is that I've yet to come to a place where it doesn't compound and get better and better and better. Like, it keeps getting better and better and better.
Yes.
And it's like there's new levels of awakening and being like, "Oh, it gets to be this easy, it gets to be this good." And there's
Yes.
it's so precious because the human self can come in and think it needs to know every piece of the strategy and the how and the steps
Yeah.
and the psychology, and those things are great. They can be very helpful. And like the magic happens when we actually surrender those things and we just be us, and we
Mm.
share from the heart and we get into alignment too with what our unique essence is. You know what I mean? Because what I've seen with you is like this is such it was so interesting because before this podcast episode, I was sharing with you just like what's coming through of like just what I have felt from you and what I see from you and just the pure gifts you have that are so special. And you were like, oh, that's actually my exact human design. You
Yeah.
know, which is like you just described my exact human design, which is so interesting because it's this beautiful combination of being able to, yes, get out of the way and to get so out of the way that we're so in alignment with who we naturally are, who we're born to
Uh,
be. And what is a way of expressing that is so designed for us that it becomes magnetic, which
yes.
is so beautiful to witness because it is magnetic. You put up a video, 100,000 views. You know what I mean? It's like, boom. It's so cool to
Yeah.
watch. It's so cool to watch. It's the example of what I mean by tuning in and just becoming that magnetic essence.
I appreciate you mirroring that back, and it truly is like a path of allowance. Like that's what I just keep hearing. It's like I still have days where I'm like I had a few days last week where I was feeling the voice come in. I was feeling a little bit dysregulated, but I just allow. I know that there's going to be a moment where everything shifts, the freedom is to come, but it's just becoming like a pro surfer with those waves and really allowing them to just be what they are, that self emerges. And I've even had moments of feeling that maybe this is an identity that I can let go of being an emotional person. I was like about to speak those words and I'm like, should I be claiming this about myself? Um, a highly in tune sensitive being, I'll say. But I've had moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to be feeling this. Like this feels so dense. But then I recognize that that's where the gold is for me to then, like, I mine that gold for my creations now. And this is making me think about how I was just listening to the podcast episode that we just released with you on the spark. And there was something you said about how subconsciously, when you have a why, you're able to like really act on it in a more flowy, like aligned way. Those were not your exact words, but something along the lines of that. It's easier to act on something when this is subconsciously supported by a deeper why. And what I'm thinking about is like moving through those emotions and the allowance that comes through. I feel like this creative outlet and knowing that I'm here to like express this energy, I just have a why that carries me through every single day. Like it's not just about me anymore. It's about me having a day where I can feel the energy, I can feel my body contracting a little bit. And I think about all of the people that are going to I'm going to serve through my creations because of how intimately I'm experiencing this. And yeah, maybe there's a day where I release that and I don't need to experience that anymore. I can very much see how there's subconscious identities associated with that. But I have this deep why of like, I'm here to feel and I'm here to share these messages with people on what it means to feel from this higher awareness and to see the beauty in it. And then to go make something with that beauty and have your creations carry this potent frequency of activation. And I see myself deeply resonating with artists too, that it's just like so unhinged, I would describe it as, just like really doing whatever the heck they want, not following the rules. I'm like, hell yeah, where can I bring a little bit more of that into my life? Like, where can I drop the rules over here? And something that I'm really excited about with the portal is Bella and I were talking about how last round we were completely different people. Like, we were completely different people. It was incredible. It was epic. Like, the transformations that took place were incredible. But this round, it feels like we are living in this realm of like, we get to do whatever the heck we want. And especially me stepping away from the subconscious healing role within the container, I feel like my spark is lighting up to contribute to this container in a way that feels even more aligned for me. And Bella and I were having this conversation of like, we get to create these sessions however the heck we want.
Mhm,
And she was reflecting to me how last container we started to like coin these sessions that we now call activation sessions, which are highly curated experiences, highly produced experiences where her and I are tapping into our channels beforehand and pretty much creating these sessions that are very much carried through music. There's drop ins, there's weave ins of channel transmissions. And it's kind of like a whole production that we put on that's very much one flow where we're
mhm,
tapping in at the beginning, opening up our channels and really inviting those that are receiving it to receive their own wisdom and to trust what's activating for them in those moments and to write it down. And we give prompts, and it's a very beautiful experience. But I'm just feeling into going back to what I was saying, this creative freedom of like, you can do it however the heck you want. You
Mhm.
can make it however the heck you want. And I feel like you really helped us tap into this world where it works when you're aligned with it, when you like what
Mhm.
you're doing. And you speak to this often, how so many people will not like what they're doing with a specific like area of their career. And you're like, just change it, just do something different. You don't have to do it that way. And tying in this conversation of creativity, I'm just feeling this calling to share with anyone who's listening. Like, if there is a way that you're doing something that doesn't feel right to your soul, it's not a match to your energy, change it and do it in a way that it's like edgy to do it in. And you find a discomfort of it never being done that way. And I feel like this is definitely an initiation you had to go through, probably with your modalities and birthing an entire world of healing. Like there's a sacred initiation of understanding that you're birthing something that's never been done before, make it in a way that's never been seen before or felt before. And it will be felt and received by people just because of the uniqueness of the frequency. So I'm freaking stoked to bring this into the portal. Like we're going to be experimenting with a lot of different things and a lot of different ways. I'm definitely going to be tapping into my gift of making these videos and bringing them into the sessions. And yeah, I just invite everyone to like find your edge and do it unhinged.
It's where the magic happens, and it's also a deep conversation about this world. And just so people can know what we mean by the portal is a space that Nikki and Bella created. They also invited me in to do subconscious healing sessions once a month, so subconscious transformation sessions once a month, and I will be a part of the portal. I will be on the other sessions as well, supporting the community, being there, receiving from Nikki and Bella. So the portal is the 6-month journey for creative visionaries, for artists, for healers, for people who want to tap into their unique creative genius and share in the world in the way that only they can. So I want people to know what the portal is as you are referring to it. And something that is just so special is that this is the awakening that's happening on a planet on such a big degree. Exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about. This moment of realizing like, "Wait a minute, I don't." It's like this moment of realizing, "Wait, I don't like the way I'm doing it." And a lot of people kinda stop there. You know, they're like, "I don't like the way I'm doing it. I don't see an example of how to do it, so let me try to mold myself into a way that I see works." You know, and this is where I see a lot of people come into my space at every walk of life, from really high level CEOs and executives of really huge companies to people who are just getting started. There's a whole gamut of the same theme, which is people who have put themselves into a box because they think that that box is what's accepted, or they think that that box is what works. And it's like so ironic because it's actually that feeling of discomfort in the box, that feeling where we're like, I don't like the way I'm doing it, or this feels off, or this, I feel depressed when I do this in this way, or this feels limiting in this way. And people finally break beyond that edge and they're like, I have no example of how this could ever work, but it feels the best it's ever felt within me. It's like, I have no example. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to look, but it feels right. So I'm going to go in this direction. That's where the magic happens. And the reason I'm saying that this is awakening on the planet is because this is the energy that moves the evolution of consciousness forward. If we only did what was currently accepted, we would never progress. So it's like those are the renegades. Those are these are the ones, everyone listening to this, those feelings or those moments where we awaken to being the way showers to build the new world we want to experience. It's those very moments that we're like, I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but there's something in me that wants to do it in this way. There's something in me that feels so good when I lean into this direction. And that's that unhinged feeling you were talking about,
Yes.
right? Where it's like that unhinged feeling where it's like we get so inspired when we see people. I know I do too. We get so inspired when we see people who are just a little unhinged, or they're doing something in their own unique way that is so precious, that is so special. And it's also why I so quickly said yes into the portal. You know, it's like I witnessed you over this past year say bye to an old identity, which you're such a powerful subconscious healer. You were using, of course, you were, you know, tapping into the modalities I shared and some other teachers you've studied, whatever it is, and your unique genius. And you had the courage to be like, and that's not it anymore. It was amazing, I loved it, and this is the spark. This is where the spark is taking me. And then look what happened. It brought you into collaboration in a new way. You know,
Yeah.
I'm coming into the portal. It's becoming something new from the collaborations that are happening. It brought you into being able to share your gifts. It brought you into this moment where I don't know if you said it on the podcast or before, but you're like, I feel like I am a kid in a candy shop who just discovered their favorite lollipop.
Yeah.
It's like, that is so precious. And that's what it leads to, which is such a gift. And there's a big awakening happening on the planet where this is like being awakened in the hearts of so many in many different arenas. People who might have never said that they were creative are feeling
Yeah.
something in their heart saying something's got to change about this industry, or something's got to change about the way we're doing this, or something's got to come alive. And this is the transformation that is happening throughout the collective. And I feel like that's a big part of the reason why for the portal, I was like, yes, 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 yes. One, because you and Bella are remarkable beings and it's such an honor. And two,
Yes.
is because this is what's awakening in the hearts of so many. And it's not just subject to people who define themselves as creative or define themselves as healers. We're all creative. And this is the creative essence that's being awakening in all of us, souls throughout the planet who are meant to bring the unique spark of their soul into what they do. And it doesn't have to look like a creative job. It could be in finance. It could be being a neurosurgeon. We have people who are doctors in
Yeah.
different areas, lawyers, like we have people of all walks of life who are awakening this within. And so I'd love for you to talk about what comes through when we're talking about this spark coming alive in the collective and what that means to you and what you've been tuning into in terms of collective energy as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm getting this. I want to talk a little bit about like what it even means to create because I love what you're saying about us all being creative beings.
Yeah.
I see it as you feel this spark within, and I'm getting the visual of like a little light within your heart, and it just extends upward out of the crown, and you're connecting in with a vision, some sort of idea, inspiration. That's what it feels like on a human level. And to create through the heart, which is what we talk about all the time, right? Because we want to be creating things that are of a state of coherence and are inviting awakening. When you are creating, you are birthing, it's quite literally birthing something that hasn't been done before. It hasn't been seen before, it hasn't been known before, it hasn't been tasted, it hasn't been touched. It is only felt by you. It is only sensed by you. And it's chosen you as the conduit to birth it into this realm. And the reason why the conversation I was speaking to, the topic I was speaking to before about like being unhinged, let yourself create something that's never been done before, is because there's beings that are being tapped right now to birth things into this realm that are so beyond what we know in the 3D, that are so beyond what we're used to, that are so beyond the energy and the feeling that we've been accustomed to. And it's going to feel out of the box. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It doesn't have to, but I'm inviting in space for that. But it's going to feel edgy. And I just invite you guys to tune in that that spark is you've been chosen. It's like a tap within the heart that you've been chosen as the vessel and the conduit to birth this idea from these higher realms into this one. And to create is to bring that to life. And it's not so much about, oh, you it has to be painting, it has to be like an artistic creation. I love what you're speaking to, Sarah, about it being in any field. We have doctors and lawyers and people that are coming into these spaces feeling so invigorated to bring higher consciousness into scientific studies. Like I'm thinking
Mhm.
about Kirsten, this epic
Yeah.
soul who is in our world inside the portal. Kirsten, if you're listening to this, freaking love you. She's bringing
Same.
higher awareness and higher consciousness into into scientific studies of the heart, and it is next freaking level what she's doing. And I just want to speak to like what it truly means to even create because we're creating every second. Whether we realize it or not, we all have ideas, we all have ways that we're moving throughout our reality field that is in flow with creation. And what we're speaking to is channeling creation through the heart space from the spark, because that's connected to the higher frequency of joy and the heart expansion. That's going to connect you in with these ideas that feel like oh my God, I need to do this thing. It's like a pulling. I always get the visual of like a string pulling a heart. That is when you know the thing that you're creating is coming in from these higher realms. It's coded in an energy of coherence and love and joy and curiosity and fun and being a child that's just like having the joy of creating something new. It's like you're a kid in the sandbox. We're speaking to the kids that are in the corner, like creating the sandcastles that like are like, what the heck are you making? That's not a sandcastle. And you're like, this is my freaking sandcastle. Okay. You like it or not. This is new. This has never been done before. And everyone's going to love it eventually. But I'm the only one that can see this vision right now. And there's just such a sacredness in what's happening because I see it collectively as it's a grand rising. We're all rising together. I'm getting chills in my legs right now. We're all rising because our energy is so heightened at this point. Our hearts are so open. We are so tapped in and aware beyond anything that we've ever experienced in this current lifetime for us. Like we're all so expanded and open. What this is going to invite in is creations from the higher realms. It's just inevitable. So to listen to that and to trust, to trust the visions, like, whew, never before in my life have I trusted so much of what I'm being tapped on the shoulder, the spark within that is inviting me to create with Bella, with you, the three of us, like individually. I can just feel that there's this invitation of it's never been done before. You've been chosen as the conduit. Trust what's coming through. Find your edge with doing it your way continuously, and you will be shocked with what unravels from this place. And I just feel collectively the mission that the three of us are really tapping into with the portal is to collectively help those that are feeling that spark and feeling that call. And they're saying yes. And they understand the initiations that they're going to go through. They understand the deconditioning that's going to take place of stepping away from all of the identities that would make it a little bit sticky for someone to be that conduit. They're understanding that they're ready to activate this unique essence within them that is so felt in every single thing they create. And I'm just like having such a moment of gratitude for Bella because she's this being that holds this energy of complete creative liberation. And I'm literally getting emotional as I'm saying this because I just have such a reverence for our relationship and our friendship because knowing her is to know yourself on a creative level, is to know
Mhm.
yourself on a unique creative level. And I'm just so excited for the three of us to come together in this container and to lead this mission with what we're doing because it is so important right now for us to be tuning into that spark and to be listening. Like, I'm so excited for what's about to unravel over the next few years. It's going to be beautiful, beautiful.
It's gonna be so beautiful, and for the people answering the call in the next 6 months, like, to be ushered into a space in the portal, to be ushered into a space with 3 leaders who are living by this and other creative geniuses in their own fields, and to be inspired how each one of the people are in their respective fields and bringing the spark of spirit alive in that industry, in that field, in what they're doing, no matter what they're doing. Some people are mothers stepping into a new world of motherhood and
Yeah.
bringing the spark of their spirit, saying bye to an old identity and finding their unique path of motherhood. Like there's infinite areas of how this gets to happen. But what we're talking about is something so precious because it's that spark alive in the spirit, in the heart, the spark of the soul. Like I love the example that you gave because it was so felt how there's this spark in the heart and then it travels up through the crown and it's open and it's there to receive. You know, it's there to receive in a way that only we can. You know, that's that beauty because there's this one consciousness, no matter what someone believes we can play with this, but there's this one consciousness, this one source, this one stream of intelligence. But then the precious experience of being human is that we have this perceived experience of separation where we have this unique aspect of how that one consciousness can be channeled. And it's in the attunement to that. It's when we get into alignment with that, that it births more harmony on this planet because that one consciousness knows how to create harmony. That one consciousness knows. If you look in the forest, there's no doubt into how that one consciousness has an intelligence that knows how to create harmony. And we are a part of that one consciousness. We are that one consciousness. We are a part of it. So when we're tuning into that spark, no matter how bold it seems or wild it seems or unhinged it seems, it is actually us tuning into that spark that gets us into the divine flow of harmony, to create harmony on this planet, to create harmony in an industry, to uplift industries and uplift things on this planet to that divine realm, to bring the divine into form in any industry we're in. And that's the tap on the shoulder we're experiencing on the collective level. That it's like no more separating. Okay, the spiritual people are over here doing something over here. And they're
Mm.
totally separate from how people who might not perceive themselves as spiritual because of the industry they're in. That is falling away. And instead, all of it is being uplifted to the true divine source. It's all being infused in that. And that's what's happening here, which is so remarkable to get to experience together. That's what we're doing inside of the portal, which is like, what? We get to do this
Yeah.
together? It's remarkable what we're going to get to experience. And we're doing it in the Spark event. Like, even if people aren't wanting to commit to a 6 month, which, or for some reason that's not for them, which I would say it's for everyone, but whoever is resonating with this message. And if for some reason it's like, ooh, I just need a little bit of taste of that, like that's what the Spark event is for. It's going to be remarkable.
Yeah, and if you guys are listening to this after, the Ignite the Spark event is January 17th, 9 a.m. PST. If you're listening to this after, we'll post the link to the replay below too. It will be a standalone YouTube video on the Out of Our Minds page. And the portal starts January 21st, which is the
Yeah.
following Wednesday, just to give you some dates, and everything will be provided in the links below. But I've been tapping into some of the energies of these sessions. And like Bella and I have been doing this individually too, where we'll just text each other and we'll be like, oh my God, I was just tuning into the morning of January 21st before our first session, and it was freaking insane. And I am so excited. Like I said this before we started recording, but I just have never felt so knowing of myself and like what I'm here to provide. And I feel like the last round of the portal was such a beautiful initiation into who I truly am and what I'm here to serve with and the gifts that I have. And like that portal, the 6 month portal from the last round activated me on such a deep level. Like the energies that we were tapping into, the codes that we were dropping into. I did not expect for it to be my own personal portal in that way, but it initiated me as our creations always do. And yeah, this round just feels, the frequency is so it's so different. The first round was so special too. I don't want to say that it wasn't. It was incredible. Like I speak about that in the retreat so often. It was just one of the most amazing experiences of my life. But this round feels different. The energy of 2026 feels different. It feels like it takes less work to invite miracles into our life. It takes less of an effort even on like the manifestation energetic realm. Like we almost had to train to combine effort in a way where, look, I'm still tapping in with my energies and doing manifestation and practices, but I'm just inviting us into a world where like we're so embodied in this, where it's
Mhm.
just like our hearts are open, we're living from this place of ease and flow, and we're manifesting like just so effortlessly everything that we could desire, and we don't even have to use that much mind anymore. And
Mhm.
it excites the heck out of me. I'm like so excited for this year. I'm already in it and feeling so amazing, but I'm like, something about this year feels so magical. Do you feel that?
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's what Earth herself is crying out for. It's what the collective is crying out for. There's been people who have, and a lot of people, and people listening to this for sure, who have really devoted a lot of time to the inner work. A lot of
Yeah.
time. It's been like number one, it's like people awakening to realize the past 5 years that their inner worlds are creating their outer worlds, and they've really, really tended to it. They've turned what was a chaotic inner world of junkyard, like nonsense programming, things that don't serve them, things that aren't in alignment with their spirit. They've been doing the inner work and will continue to. And there's an opening happening now. They've created a garden within. And it's these
Mm,
beings who are now the way showers for a big change that's happening in the collective. We can see
yes.
it happening right now in the world of what's happening on a global scale in terms of what's happening in the collective right now. And it's these beings who seem like they're quiet. Some of them, it might seem like a quiet person who's like in one industry and like people might not even notice what they're really doing, but people might. Maybe in years from now they get a Nobel Prize. Who knows? But it's these beings that are being awakened in the chaos of what's happening in the world. It's these beings, those of us who are being awakened to say, okay, now go do this way. And it's when we gather together and we see, wait a minute, that person's doing this, that person's doing that, that person's doing that. It starts to feel like a group of angels have gathered from around the world in their collective field who are bringing the divine source into their collective field. And then something amazing happens because any doubt of like, can humanity get through this and will humanity awake and will it change? All of that falls away because they're like, look, we're doing it. There's no
Mm,
question of will this change? Will this transform? Because we're surrounded by other people who are the inspirations helping us see the mirror of like, oh my goodness, it has changed. Not will it
yeah.
change? It has changed. It's changing. It's happening through all of us. And that's this like amazing energy that is happening throughout the collective, that's happening for people who are wanting to come into the Ignite the Spark event, who are wanting to come into the portal, who are listening to Out of Our Minds podcast, who are listening to this. It's like for so long, those people might have felt alone, but it's like, you're not alone. You are not
Yeah.
alone. We are in this together. So many of us are awakening. Turn your gaze away from the falling of the death of what no longer serves, because that is chaotic. That is dying away. It's like what happens with the ego when it tries to hold on even
Yeah.
tighter right before the breakthrough. We've all experienced it. It could seem so chaotic. It's like right before the breakthrough, a crumbling can happen in our personal lives. We know that game. That's what's happening on the collective. Turn the gaze away from that and in to the things that are lighting the spark of the soul alive, because that's what's creating this new world. That's what we're getting to do together.
Yeah. I'm feeling inspired if it's okay to talk to a little bit about what it truly means to find like your soul family. I
Please do.
saw a video of a guy that I immediately resonated with. He was sharing how right now, I loved the way he described it. I'm not sure if this was his words or someone else's, but he was calling it when you resonate with someone, he was explaining how you sign up prior to coming into the earth experience to kind of rejoin and re-meet with these souls that you were destined to meet. And he was
Mhm.
calling them fractals, like you find your fractals.
Oh, cool.
And I just want to speak to the fact that it is not random. Like you guys listening, I'm really wanting to speak to your soul right now. It is not random who it is that you are resonating with. It is not random. The people that you feel are like sisters and brothers to you. And I was messaging with Madeline from Becoming Her and
I love
inside of your
her.
containers.
Freaking love
Yeah, and
her.
I just immediately resonated with her energy after one of the sessions. I remember I texted Bella, I'm like, "Wow, Madeline is awesome." And she sent me a message after the activation that we did inside of Becoming Her, and it was just such a moment of us being like, "I feel like you're a soul sister." And she was like, "Honestly, same, right back at you." And this is how I feel with every single person that I meet inside of your containers, that I meet inside of the portal, inside of Bella and I's events, activations, the retreat. Like, don't even get me started. The level of soul family connection that is available to each of us right now, that connection that our hearts yearn for, is so
Mhm.
available. And I just invite you guys to really feel into the people that you're bumping into. Maybe it's a neighbor that you've never spoken to, and now all of a sudden you're having this like in depth conversation with. Feel into the synchronistic nature of that and the meaning of it because it means something. And I really believe that not only is the spark igniting within, but we are gathering. We are
Mhm.
coming together. We are meeting with the exact beings that we signed up to meet with prior to coming into this earth realm. And when I feel into the energy of the people coming into the portal, I was messaging one of the girls that joined. I'm like, I literally feel like we're best friends already, and I've never even met you or like
Yeah.
spoken to you that much, but I can just feel her energy from her profile picture. I'm like, you are a soul sister. Like, you're a
Yeah.
soul sister. She too, I keep saying this because so many people keep repeating this, and I think I've said this to you like 20 times, but there was a line you said in the first podcast episode we did a few weeks ago where you're like, you made a choice to just see everyone as a friend, like spiritual teachers and leaders that you were listening to. And you ended up like manifesting meeting them in person like a week later, something wild like
Yeah.
that. And I have gotten so many messages, like at least 5 or 6 messages of people being like, I just decided to see you and Bella as friends. And it was a moment where they felt the call to come into the portal. And she said, this one girl specifically, she was like, I just had this switch of like, these are my sisters, like, these are my friends. And I just invite you guys to feel into, like, even if it's another container that you're entering into, a yoga community in your hometown, like, whatever it is, like, feel into the depth of what's actually happening here. Because I really do believe and see and feel in my heart that we are joining back with the souls that we planned to ascend with. And
Mhm.
I think our family also plays a divine role in that. And I'm not like bypassing the fact that we have blood family that also plays a very special role in our ascension. But I think in a different way, now
Mhm.
it's like, now it's like the beings that it's like they set your soul on fire and remind you of why you're here and what you're here to do. And
Mhm.
I just wanted to speak to that because it was coming through when you were talking a bit about the community and the portal. And it's just incredible to feel into the magic of what's unfolding right now.
Yeah, and it's such a potent thing to do because it's so easy, like, it actually, like, causes this it's so easy to think that, like, someone we're listening to is just, like, someone on the internet or, like, someone on TV, and when that happens, it creates a disconnection from feeling the message. But when we
Yeah.
can look at the people, like, this is we aren't just, like, girls on the internet, you know what I mean? We aren't just, like, random women. Like, it's like, "No, we're with you." You know, we're with you and we're here to spark that remembering in you because we're with you. We're friends with you. When we can anchor into that, and I was talking about the energy of belonging, like I belong here. You know, I
Yes.
wouldn't even be listening to this if I didn't belong here, if I wasn't resonating with it for some deep reason. That's where that energy of like, "Oh, I saw you guys as friends," and now it's like, "Yes, let's do this together." And there's something it, like, activates this ability to listen with more of our spirit. It just we dissolve away the nonsense of trying to figure out, like, I don't know, do I resonate with what they're saying? And, like, trying to pick out something we don't resonate with or trying to pick out a flaw so we can somehow depedestalize them because 'cause we've put them on a fake pedestal anyway, so we're trying to depedestal them
Yeah.
with the ego. It's like nonsense energy that we don't have to be doing, and instead be like, "Wait a minute, they have their unique gifts, and they're not here to tell me anything. They're not here to teach me anything. They're here to spark a remembering in me." And it's like that they're not speaking at me, they're speaking with me to spark that remembering. And when we start
Right.
listening with a sense of like, I belong here, I'm meant to be listening to this, I'm meant to be in this space. Now, like the walls go down and we can actually receive and we start seeing beyond the persona of like them and me and we start seeing like wait a minute they have this unique spark that I have but it shows up in them in that way and if when we honor that instead of like seeing it as separation when we honor that uniqueness not as
Mhm.
separation but as an extension of us as like a different form of us what happens is we start to be able to be awakened by just being in someone's presence. And that's what it feels like with soul family. When we dissolve away the barriers, we realize, wait, we're friends. We're meant to be here together. Like, let's do this. Now we start seeing the light in one another. We start seeing like the divine gift in one another without putting down our own. It's like the whole ego game is gone. It's like we're not trying to be like them. We're not trying to judge ourselves for not being like them. We're just all of that is gone, and we're like we're just seeing the divine in them, and
Mm.
it's helping us see the divine in us. And it's like no longer a comparison between they have this, I have this, what they do looks like this. It's no longer that game. And it's like, oh my gosh, they have this divine spark and it's such an inspiration. Wow. And then what happens is their spark starts helping us get better at the thing that they're good at. You know what I mean? It's like it's
Yes.
becomes this game of inspiration where it's like just being in the presence and honoring the genius in one another then helps us maybe lift up in an area that wasn't actually our genius or something that we weren't that great at. And because they have that spark, it's like, oh my gosh, we're all uplifting together. And that's the magic of coming together with soul family because we can talk to someone for 5 seconds and they just hold a certain frequency like that fractal of light is activated in them and it gives us this gift of activating that in us when we can put down the walls and just receive from the people around us. It's so powerful.
Yeah. And I feel like I've been unleashing new levels of this within my own life, and I can just speak from experience the difference in how you get to come into spaces and experience friendships. It's just like it's so liberating. It's so much easier too. Like you just
Yeah.
get to like put down anything that feels a bit heavy. And I really do believe it starts with the foundational of identity that you're speaking to so beautifully of belonging,
Mhm.
because that really is that's it. Like you belong. Not only do you belong, like this is written in the stars, like you're meant to connect with the people you connect with. Like you wouldn't be meeting someone if you didn't belong, or if you weren't supposed to meet, like that just doesn't even compute anymore, you know?
Mhm.
Like it's all unfolding exactly how it's meant to. So, yeah, I'm just like feeling into this buzz of excitement for everything that's unfolding in each of our lives. Like I can just sense that there is this timeline of love that is becoming so embedded in our reality field, like it's so present, and I just cannot wait for us to continue to build and grow and expand within this realm of creative expression and unleashing our heart's gifts and our unique genius and all of these things that the three of us are speaking to over and over again to help and guide all of these beautiful beings that are here to activate this within. I just like I just keep having these moments. I know I'm speaking to a lot to the excitement, but it's just like so felt I can't not express it.
Mhm.
I've been having these moments of recognizing, like, wow, I got to where I am in my life right now. And I only started being like intentional and conscious about the way I was living like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. What the heck is going to happen for the rest of my life? Like it's going to
Right?
compound, like how you always say, it just
Yeah.
compounds and the snowball starts rolling by itself.
Yeah. Yeah, and it keeps getting easier and easier, and there
Yeah.
is this energy, this, like, key of this, of really joining together and what that
Yeah.
does, you know, and really being with others who are on the path and being in spaces that are mirroring to us our own divinity, and what happens when we just put down the walls and we just grow together and we inspire one another and we uplift one another. We help one another remember. We help one another like stay on our unique path of what our
Mm.
soul is here to do. It is remarkable when we do that together. And I feel like this is a quantum leap opportunity when we find spaces that we're like, yes, I choose to belong here because it's really a choice. It's a decision we make of saying, okay, I'm listening to this for a reason because it resonates with my frequency to some degree. And then we choose, we say, I belong here. I'm a part of this. And then we all do the spark event together, you know, the Ignite the Spark free event we're doing. And then something ignites in all of us as we come together. And it doesn't matter if who's speaking, who's not. It's all of our energies coming together to ignite that spark within, to allow that spark to become this like flame within that cannot be extinguished. That spark that moves us forward in anything that we do unwaveringly so that we carry it out in our unique way in alignment with the soul. And I feel like that's what we're getting to do together, which is so profound. And what I'd love to do is see if you have anything else on your heart to share with people who are interested in igniting that creative spark within, even if people who don't resonate with the word creative, we can just put that down. Everyone's creative, you know, everyone is creating all the time. It's just how conscious are we of the thoughts and emotions we're creating. So being able to dissolve that barrier and step into the world of like any messages coming through for you about right now in the world, tuning into that spark, sharing your soul's gifts, anything that can come with that. Anything else that you want to speak to the hearts of the people listening to this?
To everyone listening, you are free. You are a free, sovereign soul that is so expansive and limitless in its nature. and so inherently worthy and whole. You are this pure light. That is who you truly are. And something that I love to do is I start to see this reality field through these quantum goggles, these energetic goggles. And I sometimes I'll even look in the mirror and just see myself as light, like this orb. And I look around and I see the reality field as light. That is your truth. You are so free. You are so free to put down any identity that feels constrictive to your essence. You are so free to walk away from anything that is no longer a match to your soul. And you are so held. So to trust and know that as you continue to embark on this free journey, you've always been free. Know that you are so incredibly held. Everything will work out as it's meant to. Know that it will work out. See how it's already working out. And just remember how free you are. I think this can feel so obvious, but it's a word that carries such deep activation. I think the word freedom can be a little bit overused in a way where it's like, America, freedom. Like we start to lose the essence of what it truly means. It's been kind of taken and morphed into this political propaganda. And when I feel into it, it is soul liberation. It's allowing the essence and the energy of who you be to be expressed in whatever way it wishes to be expressed. And I just invite you guys to feel into this frequency of freedom that is so inherent to your being as you embark on this journey of creative expression and unleashing the mission and activating the spark. You can do anything and you can be anyone. And your soul wants to experience that even more. So that's my final messages on that note. And just again, sharing the excitement for everyone that's to step into the portal. I am so incredibly honored to walk this path with each of you. I have such a deep sense of reverence and respect for every soul that is saying yes, because holy crap, the declaration that you're making to your path, to the freedom, like it's an entire activation in and of itself to say yes to the experience. And I just deeply honor every single person who's not only hearing the call, but they're listening to it and they're saying yes, because that's a special moment you're going to look back on and be so grateful for the decision that you're making. And I just have so much gratitude for the yes as well. It's felt in my field.
So powerful, and it was so felt as you shared it, so thank you so much for that, and this is true awakening, what we were talking about before this episode, this is what I see as awakening that occurs. We awaken beyond the illusions that made us think we were anything other than what Nikki just expressed, remembering that we are free sovereign souls, we can do anything, we can be anything, we have that within us. So I hope you guys were able to feel that, and I know you did from the degree I was right there with you, closing my eyes, tuning into the energy she was sharing, which is so powerful. So thank you so much for dropping us into your world, and being able to have this conversation with you was so much fun that we were just able to riff on what's coming through because there's so much excitement. I mean, we have the Ignite the Spark event with both Nikki, myself, and Bella, and that is on the 17th, right?
Mhm.
17th. So that
Yes.
is coming so soon. I'm going to get this episode out so it goes out so it can answer the call for people who are wanting to ignite that spark and allow it to be something that moves them forward in alignment with their spirit, that turns into that flame that is unwavering. It's not able to be extinguished anymore. And
Mm.
it just moves us forward in a way, like you were saying, when we know our why, when we have that deep essence activated within, it's like we don't have time for the other stuff and we move forward and we create and it gets
Yeah.
easier and easier, which is so beautiful. So Ignite the Spark is a free event happening on the 17th. If you guys want to tune into it afterwards, it will be available after the event as well. So everything will be in the show notes here. The Portal is a 6-month container with Bella, who's on this podcast too. You can go a few episodes below. And DNA Activation with Bella is Nikki's business partner. She's running the portal. Nikki, myself, we're all running the portal together, which is going to be remarkable.
Cool.
It's going to be, you're going to have a team with you supporting you to dissolve anything in the way of you sharing your creative genius in the portal. And Out of Our Minds podcast is just phenomenal. I'll put a link to that, which Nikki leads as well with Bella, which is just full of such amazing awakening conversations, mind expanding conversations, friendship. So that will be below in the show notes. And is there anything else? Is there anywhere else that people can find you that that you'd like people to know about happening in your world?
Yeah, definitely give us a follow, Pod on Instagram. We love to share lots of stuff, our writing, videos. It's like a whole addition to the podcast. I feel like a lot of podcast Instagrams will just be like replicas of the podcast, but ours is another arm of our creativity. So that's
It is.
OOOM.pod, and that's our Instagram handle.
Amazing. I'll put everything below on all the platforms for anyone who wants to
Perfect.
find you guys there. And Nikki, thank you so much. I hope we have many more conversations because we're just scratching the surface of the depth that we're able to go into. But I honor you so deeply. It's such an honor to walk this path with you. And I just adore you. I adore Bella so much. And I'm very grateful you guys have invited me into the portal. And I'm very grateful you came onto this podcast to share your gifts with everyone listening. Let us know how this landed for you. Let us know any of your favorite parts in the comments below. And Nikki, thank you so much for being here. It's such a joy. It's so fun to
It's
anytime
so
we get to
fun.
connect. It's just so fun. So thank you so much.
It's like a play date. Like,
It is.
I'll have my mom call your mom and we can make another play date. Thank you so much
Amazing.
for having me. It's been a blast. And thank you, everyone who's listening and came to the end of this podcast with us. I just feel your hearts so deeply. And I'm just so incredibly grateful to be in this soul family with each of you. So thank you, Sarah. And thank you, everyone who's listening.
Beautiful. Bye for now, beautiful beings. See you soon.